Hi. So, with Edward not here, you get you get Amanda in a penguin hat. So, all right. So there's a few of you guys here. So say hi so that I know the chat works. Okay, cool. Thanks, Vincent. All right. So a few days ago, Jonathan went into our BGG guild and put um, a thread up there for people to ask questions. So, hi everybody. So I'm going to do that until we have questions in here. So, thank you. It's my favorite hat. Look, I found it when I was cleaning the other day. I was so excited. Okay, so Cormac asked if I was to go full time and therefore had more less exhausted time for the show. What parts of the show do you think I would enjoy most besides my awesome audience? I mean, that's like, can't even see my arm. Hi. Yay, Andrew, good job. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Would it be the same or would something that you don't have enough time for now win over your current favorite? Probably being able to edit video more would be the thing that I would be the most excited about. Also being able to dive more into like Skillshare and stuff like that to learn how to be a better editor. I don't have time right now for that. My hours did change at work, so I'm working I don't have to be at work until 9:30 in the morning at the earliest, which is completely different than 6:30, which is nice. But I'm no longer working 410, so I don't have Wednesdays off anymore. But I think it'll all even out, especially with me being able to go to work so much later. I don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning anymore. I can sleep until 8, which is amazing. And so I can so that I can stay up later to play games or see my husband or whatever. So it's going to be really, really nice. So yeah, I think right now my favorite thing is editing, but I think I'll be able to dive in more at that point. Okay, Rajor said, one of the HC patron goals is you go full time. The text, however, says Amanda leaves the job she loves so she can become a full time content producer. What are your thoughts about leaving the career you've nurtured and probably not seeing those coworkers again? Do you have more than a professional connection with your office, or would 1 to 2 weekdays week transition be an option? So currently, um, I'm going to have to give them as much notice as possible. I'm going to have to give them at least a month to train someone to do what I do now because no one else does. There's the capability of people to do it, but it's not at the level that I do. So I will have to spend quite a bit of time there training someone new. So it'll probably be at least a month's notice and then the possibility of maybe staying on for a little while to help the next person. I don't know exactly how that will work. We haven't gotten to that point yet. It makes me sad in one way, but it also makes me extraordinarily excited and relieved to be able to work on my business and my husband's business instead of working for someone else, working for a big corporation. That would be a lot better for me personally. I grew up with a father that was self-employed and a mother that was self-employed. So I've never known this world that I'm in, and I much prefer being in a closer knit, work for yourself, work for your family type of thing. Roger also said, I am not a planner person, but I am a carry junk around person. I am both. Is there a decent planner that would let me have my stuff, my tablet, my earbuds, glasses, receipts, pens, etc.? I wear out computer bags or tote bags. Well, you're kind of talking more about a bag than a planner. You could keep... So Jet Pens is an awesome website. They have stuff that you can get it's from all around the world stuff. So there's a company called it's like Made for crap. I can't remember what it's called. I will DM you and tell you what it's called. It's like Made for Rearrangement or something like that. All of their stuff is very durable. It's made out of canvas. I have 2 of them. I have one pen case and I have one bullet journal holder, like a notebook holder. And in both of those, you could carry receipts and everything, and you could throw that thing around and not a problem at all. So I would recommend that. My newest planner is a Gilio. which I have with me, of course. These are not cheap. They're very, very, very well made. This is what I was talking about on the show. They're handmade in Belgium by a bunch of Italians. So this is very, very, very durable, but very, very, very expensive. So, you don't want to take the plunge unless you know that it's something that you want to do. Do you have a favorite pocket game, one that is extremely portable? No, not really. Sorry. Launder says, I guess more for the chat, but could also be for Amanda too. 18xx vertical shares, yay or no? Horizontal. Don't take. You have to have enough room for all your stuff and all your companies and all your money. You gotta have horizontal. Just the president's share, then each subsequent share. Do you have a Dutch brother? No, I don't have a Dutch brothers. Very sad. We had one in Vegas, but we don't have them here. I don't have a favorite one because we never drank it when I was there, so very sad. Another coffee drink. My favorite coffee is anything really hazelnut. So currently I'm just drinking the coffee we have at home and then some hazelnut creamer in it. But like if I were to go to Starbucks or whatever, I would get, and I wasn't on keto, I would get a salted white caramel mocha. Those are amazing. Oh, awesome, Lom Doctor. He's going to throw his hat into the 1800 redesign. Yay, good job. That'd be awesome. Can't wait to see what you do. Keto's going really well. I have not had any bread or anything crazy. I haven't had anything like that at all in over a month now, and I feel really good. I feel better than I have in a long time, and so this is definitely, I have not really lost any weight yet, but I don't care because I feel so much better. So that's all that I really care about as of right now. Kleiker's wife, he said she did the same thing. She feels a lot better, but she's just not losing, which, whatever. I feel better, so that's all I care about at the moment. The weight will come. All right, Jonathan says, how do you manage doing all of your editing of videos plus keeping up with work? I don't usually. It was very hard, but now that I'm not working those crazy hours anymore, hopefully I'll be able to do it better. I just planning within an inch of my life and doing things when I'm exhausted. All right, Trent had a whole bunch of stuff, so I will read them. Given that Edward is full-time and you're part-time in terms of HC work, how much input do you have in terms of selecting the games that you guys review? Are there any specific titles in the past that you've been more intrigued than with Edward and they ended up in a show? Not really. We kind of have, obviously, if you listen to the show, that's one of the main talking points, I guess, to people that give us feedback is that they wish we weren't so eye to eye on everything, but we're married, so it's kind of hard to disagree, and I'm not going to disagree just to disagree with him. But that being said, Reef Encounter I hate, he loves. So there's a few things that he really enjoys that I enjoy too. So we definitely go. Keeper was my suggestion, so we go eye to eye on a lot of stuff, and we don't there's nothing that I'm like, yes, I want to review this. And he's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Usually we have meetings about what we're going to review and stuff. So now that you've got some extensive experience with table design for gaming, do you like the one you guys primarily use? What features would you change about it to make it Amanda's perfect gaming table? I really like our table. I don't think there's anything that I would change. The only thing that does kind of get in the way sometimes are the cup holders, but I like them so much that I put up with the annoyance of them. If they get too bad, I will just take out the metal part that makes all the noise and take that out, and then they don't bother me anymore. What do you think about conversation at the gaming table in the midst of a heavy game? Is silence best, or is conversation solely about the game best? I really don't care as long as you're not trying to talk to me while it's my turn. That will get you a death stare. I usually, whenever it's my turn, I'm thinking so hard about what I'm going to do. or even if it's just conversation regardless, if I'm more engaged in the game or if I am more thinking about what's going on in the game in my next turn, I'm not going to talk to other people. So it honestly, that does not bother me at all. Have your personal opinions of a publisher ever altered your initial take on a game and increased or decreased your desire to play that game? I'm talking about actually knowing the publisher, not the general public viewpoint of a publishing house's behavior. For example, there are a couple of publishers whose games I simply won't play because of their public behavior of the publisher toward customers. Has there ever been backroom factors like that for you? No need to disclose, just curious if it has ever come up. No. The only company that I actively do not really care for, that I share my husband's opinion of, is anything that Dan Arrington does. But other than that, I don't care. Vital Lacerda, I would consider a friend. I would consider Nuno and Paulo friends. I would consider Mariano and Veronica friends. But I'm not going to judge a game by What's Your Game or by Vital any differently than I would someone that's not my friend. That has absolutely no bearing on anything. And even if I do not like someone, or I did not have a good interaction with person Q, it doesn't matter to me. Their game is what matters, and I'm going to take that into consideration, whether I don't care who did it. Lom Doctor says, and well, agreed, and also any hate you might have ain't welcome at my table. That's right. If you have any hate at all, you be go bye-bye. No, I don't have time. I ain't got time for that. How does Arkwright play with 2 players? It plays well. I have not played it, but I have heard from people that have played it at 2, and it went great. It's surprisingly, it's a good 2-player game that you wouldn't, you would think that you would need more than 2 players for the market, but it's not. It's not an issue. All right, back to Trent's questions. If an intellectually curious person who has shown the capacity to handle complex problems in the past came to you with no knowledge of heavy games and was willing to spend several hours playing them with you, what would you play with this person? Usually our go-to is Castles of Burgundy. Then if they ace that, then we go up the totem pole a little bit. We do Yato's a good one to try. And then, honestly, probably because it's on my mind because who I was just talking about, but Madeira would be a good one at 2 or 3 to see if they can handle multifaceted decision making. Well, come on. You want to be on TV? Look, you want to be on YouTube? Where's Asher? He just came home yesterday. He was with Kleiker for a few days. He loved the pigs, Kleiker told me. Which, obviously. You like the pigs? Whoa! See, you like the pigs. Here, let me move this so you can see him better. You can see ears. Hi. Hi. He's the best boy in the world. All right. Have you ever wanted to just exit a game in the middle of playing it due to intense dislike of the game or discomfort with other players or general social anxiety? How did you handle it? What is your recommendation on how others should handle it? Everyone that I game with knows my mental state and knows me. So the only game that I have actually quit was years ago when it was Clinic by Albin Viard because it was so hard and I was getting so anxious trying to figure out what to do. I just threw my hands up and was like, I'm done. And that was with Edward and Tony, so I know they wouldn't care. Otherwise, honestly, I would just tell them, like, look, I'm sorry. My experience is making this game unenjoyable for me, and it's probably making it unenjoyable for you guys. So maybe we can either come back to it later, or I can bow out and you guys can take over whatever I'm doing. that would probably be the best way to go. Most of the time, I'm gaming with people that, like I said, know me and understand. So that's not a concern for me, but I can see where it would be for other people. But I would just be straight up. It's always better to tell the truth instead of trying to make up some weird reason or whatever. Just be honest and tell them, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Assuming that at some point you do have to downsize a game collection, how do you decide which games to get rid of? I think this is going to be the same type of thing as if what you do whenever you need to downsize your clothes or your planner supplies or anything like that. Like for destashing planner stuff, I will put everything in a box away from me where I can't get access to it. Like up in a closet where it'd be really hard for me to get to it. And if I don't need it for like 2 weeks, then I'll sell it. Unless I just know I'll never use stuff again, and then I'm just give it away, or sell it or whatever. And with clothes, you flip the hanger around, and if after 6 months if the hanger's still on the opposite side, then you can donate that or whatever. So I would think it'd be the same thing. But with games, you might need to give it a little bit, like maybe 6 months or something. Just, I don't know, mark it or turn it around or do something to where you can differentiate it between other games and know that, oh gosh, I haven't even touched that game in X amount of time. It's probably okay to get rid of. All right. Tony wanted to know what Asher's favorite treat is. Peanut butter, or right now he has these little tiny, they're for little dogs, but they're Caesar squishy treats, and he loves to catch those. That's his favorite right now. Ashley wants to know what's my favorite type of gaming mechanism. Worker placement's my favorite for sure. Vincent says, how do you stand against regarding king making? Some of my friends do this when they notice they will not win. I hate that. If you know you're not going to win, then you need to actively pursue the person that you think is going to win and make them not win. That's my thinking. I'm not one that if I see Matt is going to win, then I try to help him. No. I'm going to not help him. Sorry, Matt, if you're watching. All right, well, that's all the questions. Sorry I answered them faster than Edward. Asher's just laying here in judgment because he wants to go for a... But I can't. I'm right here. Well, Doctor says, I hate that. Also hate it when someone breaks a game rule to try to make the guy in first lose. No, just stop it. Andrew says, what 18xx games are you wanting to play? Yes. I haven't been playing them. Ever since OE. So, no, not OE. 1822. Sorry. What are my top 3 games? Oh, geez. Listen to our top 50. Because I don't know. I know through the ages for sure. But I don't want to overstep what I said because my mood might be different today. Well, Tony, you're right. Maybe not necessarily the leader, sure. But don't try to help the person winning. Try to make it to where you are either doing better or trying to make it to where you're still active and engaged in the game. Don't just try to help whoever. Try to help yourself. Downriver Rick says, are there any games you enjoy that Edward does not? I used to always say Dominion, but he likes Dominion now, so I don't really know. Honestly, I don't think so. It's usually the other way around. There's games that he likes that I don't, which I don't know before you ask. Andrew says, have you played 18 Ireland or 18 CZ yet? No, I haven't. I'm sad. We have to play Ireland for sure before Golden Elephant nominations. But I got to watch Edward and Tony play 18cc, so I always liked it whenever they were doing those on Fridays because it would eat up quite a bit of my workday. It was nice. Oh, Dean, you're reading the rules for Through the Ages? Nice. Be sure, we have a playthrough where Sweater Mike, who is amazing, taught it. So if you have any questions, make sure to watch that video because it'll help you with whatever questions you have, probably. Favorite cookies? Dude, your mom, like all of the cookies that she makes, but you today I can't say them. So, oatmeal raisin, I think, is my favorite, but I can't have them right now. So there's a company called No Better Foods that makes keto-friendly cookies and granola bars and waffles and stuff like that. It's really expensive, but the cookies are like this big, seriously, and they're chocolate chip, and I can have a whole one for 4 net carbs, which is amazing. So those. Andrew says, do you have a list started for the GE yet? Like maybe a very rough idea draft, but nothing formal at all. Cookies okay at HeavyCon? At least a couple? Absolutely. You bring as many cookies as you want. I have gained a very, very, very high willpower to avoid things. So I have actively, easily avoided cookies, donuts, pretzels, pizza, bagels. So I'll be fine. You bring them for everybody else because everybody else needs to have that deliciousness. Llama Doctor says, what do you feel about the check meta rule, calling game state changes or calling when you end a game? I have it as a preferred thing, especially when I'm running a game. Calling game state changes or calling... I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're asking me. Dean says, in addition to Eclipse, are there any other games you're hoping to get played at HeavyCon? Oh, man. Age of Steam's always fun at HeavyCon. And geez, yeah, just a game because I won't have work to worry about and I'm not going to have like the show to worry about. I'm just going to be with a bunch of friends. So just playing some games in general, that's really all I'm excited about. Vincent says, playing BIOS Genesis solo, a lot of rules. Yeah, played 3 rounds and now it's time to reread the rules, check if I played correctly. Do you know the game? Any thoughts? I've played BIOS Genesis once with, I played BIOS Genesis once with Mark von Minden and Skippin. Mark is like a genius at that game, but I was lost for the whole time. It's very hard. I mean, you have hard, here, where am I? You have hard, you have Eklund hard, so, it's up around in here, because of course, it's hard. I like it, but I would need to play it a lot more. Have you read Dana's book? No, and I'm bitter. I have not. Nobody has, but I don't even think Matt's read it. He knows what's going on in it, but I don't even think he's read it yet. Mom Gamer says, I need to read up on the keto diet. I'm always exhausted to gain a bunch of weight in the last few years. I would recommend it. I mean, it depends on, obviously, you and your weight and stuff. Not your weight, your build-up and how you are metaphysically or whatever, but I really like it. I would recommend it. I just feel so much better. I will say that it's harder for me to go to sleep. Once I get there, I sleep pretty soundly, but it's harder for me to go to sleep. Just the way my body is now, I guess. I don't know, because the way that your metabolism changes, it goes from burning carbs for fuel to burning fat for fuel. So that makes your brain more active. So because your brain is fat, so your brain wants fat in order to function. So my brain's more like won't stop. Lomter says, like and Ticket to Ride announcing you're down to fewer than 2 trains, or in trains announcing that you've run out of rail tickets. Oh, okay. I think that's fair to everybody else. I don't know. Does that immediately end those games? I haven't played Trains or Ticket to Ride in eons. Dean says, how did you and Edward meet Matt? Matt and Dana moved here from Virginia, and he just came to a game day because he'd listened to the show for a long time and wanted to come to game day, and came to game day. They lived up about 45 minutes away from here. so they started to come and stay for the weekend, and then they started to come and stay for a little longer, and then a little longer, and then they eventually it was just easier for them to just move in because of the situation of where they were living, as well as where his commute was insane. Ashley says, have you played A Handful of Stars by Martin Wallace? I have not. And I have not played Gloomhaven either. I've played Founders of Gloomhaven, which is completely different. Lom Doctor says, in Ticket to Ride, it final set of turns, and trains, it ends the game. I would think that you should. I mean, especially if it ends the game. I think it, but I'm sure it says probably in the rules that you should, right? Carol says, do you read rulebooks in bed? I don't read rulebooks, period. So I don't read them anywhere. What? No. Here, let's see. How do you and Edward feel about dice placement games like Kingsburg? Kingsburg. I like dice placement games. I like the ones where you know, like Madeira or anything else, where you have your dice and you put them in place. I think it's cool. I like it. I like those types of games. I'm going to text and see if someone can take him for a walk. Okay. So planner talk. When do we get to see you go through how you get yours set up? I don't know. Would that be interesting to people? I've been setting it up, redoing it, so maybe I can do a video or something. I don't know. Tony says, have you played Tramways Grand Station or Tramways? The Tramways a Small City? No. We have them. I love doing these, but I also hate them because everybody wants to know what I've been playing, and I'm like, nothing. John says, no questions today, but wanted to say hello and look forward to meeting y'all at HeavyCon. Thank you. Hello back to you, and you too. I'm excited to meet everybody. I'm sad I won't get to see Andrew. Lom Doctor says, and as an aside, I'm happy that Hisashi found their feet with trains and made other games. Me too. I like Hisashi Hayashi. He's good. Dean says, did you grow up with pets or dogs? Is Asher your first greyhound? He is. Asher is my first greyhound, and he's also my first pet. I had a fish growing up, but my mom didn't like animals, or doesn't like animals, so she likes Asher, but I think it's just because it's her grand dog. She kind of has to, right? But he's my buddy, and now we have Leo, who's Matt and Dana's cat, but he's pretty much the house cat now, and Asher's the house dog. So Leo, he's a very sweet boy. He likes to sit in the chair right outside the studio and watch the birds, because we have a bird's nest that has decided to live there no matter what we do, and he loves to just sit there and watch the birds. It's so funny. Yes. Vincent says, Spiel 2017 IllyriaCon were your first and second time abroad. How was the experience? Glad to be back, or do you want to do it more often? I loved it. The Netherlands was my absolute favorite. If I could move anywhere, I think I would move there. It was just wonderful and amazing, and I loved it there. But I've enjoyed every experience that I've had and cannot wait to do it more. I'm very excited to be able to do it more. Ashley said, I know Edward and Tony weren't too keen on Ships by Martin Wallace. Have you played it? And if so, how did you find it? Yes, I played it with them for the show back then. And yeah, I didn't like it either. It felt jumbled and weird. Tony says, so your only pet growing up was a fish and you hate Reef Encounter. I wonder if there's a relationship there. Maybe. But the only reason why I even had the fish was because I wanted at the Tri-State Fair, which is where I grew up. They had the big fair for New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas there. And So it was big to do every year. I got one day off of school even at some points during my life. And the only reason why I even had the fish was because my parents thought that it would die because I wanted it at some fair thing. But he lived for like 4 years, and any other fish that we brought into the tank he would kill. So I don't know. It's like a shark dressed up like a goldfish. I don't know. Andrew says, have you played many Hollandspiel titles aside from an infamous Traffic? That's a good question. I don't think so. I'm a bad human. See, now I'm going to have to look because you asked me these questions. No, we have a bunch of them, but I don't think... Really? No. Oh, I played... No, I didn't play 4X. I watched 4X being played, and oh my goodness. That was some business, man. I'm like looking through their catalog. That's the only one I've seen so far. We have a bunch of these, but... Supply Lines of the American Revolution, I know Travis Hill really likes. Yeah, no, that's it. Ooh, Wars of Marcus Aurelius. Ooh. Anyway, no, just an infamous Traffic, and I've watched 4X being played. Yeah, I'm serious business, let me tell you, especially in my hat. This is serious business right here. Can you share any tips on how to win an infamous Traffic? No, watch my playthrough because I killed everybody. Yeah, I don't even remember how I did it even. Do you have any interest in solo games? I don't have any interest in solo games because I grew up in a world where I always had a Game Genie for all my Nintendos and Nintendo games. And I know myself, if I did any type of a solo game, I would totally cheat. So I can't do that. Because then I would just feel bad. Yeah. Like, Matt made a Raspberry Pi thing. It has, like, all of the games ever. And he's always like, hey, do you want to play it? I'm like, does it have a Game Genie on it? I want infinite lives. I don't know how to play those games without that stuff. That's all I ever did. A terrible human being. Millennium Blades was shortlisted last year. Have you played it since? And does it stand up? I haven't. I haven't played it again. We just don't have time. Which is why I need to be full time. I know how much I enjoyed it, so I imagine it holds up. Dean says, did you learn video and audio editing completely on the fly? Yep. I learned, Tony used Audacity, and he sat with me the first episode that I edited of the three of us, and taught me what he learned, and I did that, and then I knew I was going to use Adobe Photoshop for a lot of stuff, so I decided to just get the Adobe Suite where you basically rent it and once a month, and so I knew that I would use that, and that comes with everything, so I started to use Adobe Audition for it. Yeah, he was audacious, me. So that's all I use is Adobe stuff. I use Adobe Audition for the audio, and I use Premiere for the video. To make intro graphics and stuff, I sometimes we'll use Adobe After Effects as well. But they all, it's all Adobe. So, and that's not to say though that it's the same, because there's so many times to where I need to be able to open something in Illustrator and I can't. And it's like, it feels like it's each individual thing is like proprietary. It feels like almost. It's weird. I don't understand why they did that, but whatever. Have you played Mage Wars Arena? I have not. I haven't played. Have I? No, I haven't. I played Summoner Wars. That's what I'm thinking of, but I haven't played any Mage Wars or anything. May I ask how you and Edward met? I answer this question every Ask the Elephant. Sure. A friend of mine was going through a bad breakup, and so he and I and one of our other friends went to a club, and Edward just happened to be at that club, and I was dancing with my friends in the middle of the room, and he says that he felt like a spotlight was on me, and he couldn't see anything but me, which, he's so sweet. And so he said it took a couple of drinks of liquid courage to come and talk to me, which he just came up and started dancing with me. I wasn't having it because I didn't like when people did that. And so he grabbed me by the hair and yanked my head up so that I had to look at him, which at that point, that's an impression that was made. And so after that, we hung out the rest of the night. We went to eat afterwards, and at one point he kissed me and I drove into a ditch. So, and we pretty much haven't left each other for 14 years now. Yeah, I miss him. He's in Boston, and it's sad. Vincent says, I found the podcast so funny when Tony said he quit Heavy Cardboard and Edward was trying to think about a replacement and you said it was obviously you while he was thinking about other people. Yeah. Because I remember whenever he told me, I just was like, duh, it's me. Hello. But it felt right. It felt like, the right thing to say and do at that moment. And obviously it was. And, I can see where he was coming from. He had no idea that I didn't even know if I could do it, but I've been able to somehow. I think it's because it's just us on the podcast. And like right now, I'm just talking to the camera. People aren't going to watch this later. I have to trick myself. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this. At all. So yeah, y'all are gonna have to get used to me in hats for a little while, because my hair is about an inch long, if you saw on the Antiquity stream, and I'm just much more comfortable in a hat for the moment. But it's already quite a bit longer than it was because my hair grows really fast. So hopefully by HeavyCon I will be hatless. All right, well, I'm probably going to do this for another 20 minutes or so. So if y'all have any other questions, let me know. Do you eat beef jerky while on keto? And when you met Berkey, did you try to get any of his jerky? No, he's only given us his seasoning pack. I don't know that I've ever had any of his jerky, but it depends. Some beef jerky has a lot of gluten in it, so you just have to look at the carbs. But like, without anything added, usually. I will eat it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, thank you, Board Game Ramblings. That was very sweet. We are thankful to you guys too. Believe me. Yeah, go watch the 18CZ stream. It'll be a lot much more interesting than this. Sorry. Hi, Miko. You are invited to a game show where the players play one board game and the winner gets a big cash prize. You get to choose the game you play. What's your choice? Or what's the game you're best at? Well, I would say 13 days because I always seem to beat Edward, but I don't know if that would matter. Probably Castles of Burgundy just because I know it the best, and I feel like it probably, especially if there's a big cash prize on the line, do the best. Do you think 18CZ is an okay game to jump to after 1846? I can't actually answer that question because I haven't played 18CZ. Andrew can weigh in, but I don't know. Probably, but as long as you are, able to get a base understanding. Carol says, do you plan to go to Essen this year? As long as I can get the time off of work, absolutely. Which that is now a problem. So, hopefully. But as long as I don't get sick or nothing happens, I should be able to go. Mom Gamer says, how do you spend your weekends? Well, it depends. If Edward's here, we usually do show stuff, or we have game day or whatever. But whenever he's gone, I usually I work on planner stuff. I've worked on my planner like all week, and it's been nice on one hand, but sad on the other because there's a reason why I'm doing that. Carol says, I missed you last year. Well, hopefully we'll be able to see each other this year. Andrew says, yes, it's pretty good to go to CZ after 46. Okay, cool. So yeah, definitely check out both of those and see what you think. David says, what game are you currently kickstarting? None. There's this coat, though, that I want that's on Kickstarter. It has like 90,000 different pockets and crap. I want that thing. Board Game Rambling says, thank you. We just played Feudum 3 times this weekend. Wow. Did you get ready to film a review tomorrow? How did you sleep? Have you played the game? What did you think? I have not played it. I was sick or had a headache or something the day that they were learning it. And after that, Edward was like, we don't really want to have to go through that process again, so we'll just play it at a later time. So whenever we review it, then I'll play it. Randall says, if you could solo a game, what game would you choose to solo? Well, as we talked about before, I would cheat, so I'm not really into solo gaming. Andrew says, has keto helped with the headaches? No, unfortunately. It hasn't, but I'm not having any more, so I'll take that. David says, with regards to Miko's question, I think you should go for Forbidden Stars. I could see that, man. That's fair. I love that. That's so funny still. Are you sure it isn't called Organize My Planner? That's a good solo game. Yes, that one I would play. And it's right here. See? I have it right here with me. I still can't believe that about Forbidden Stars. That was so funny. Coco is a good solo with the app. There's a Rococo app? Andrew says, have you considered getting into fountain pens? I haven't. Not simply, but mainly because I don't want to get into another money sink. And number two, I'm a big enough klutz as it is. I don't really need bottles of ink laying around. I mean, I know you can get them preloaded or whatever, but I would still figure out a way to spill it. I spilled my coffee everywhere the other day. Oh my gosh. Hi, Yui. Did I answer the guild questions already? Yes, I did. I answered everything at the very beginning, so you can either go back and listen to me sound like a chipmunk, or I'll be done with this in about 10-15 minutes or so. You can watch it then. They were all really good questions, so that was fun to answer. Have you spilled anything on any games before? No, because I'm not allowed to have anything without a lid around the table. Because we know what will happen. See? And if anything does not have a lid, it has to go on a table next to the table. So, yeah. We all know what'll happen. Vincent says, next time you play Risk, don't listen to Edward. If you would have just killed him, my prediction would have come true that you would win and Edward would be first to leave the game. Yeah, I know, but... It was the right play. It just sucked. Board Game Rambling says, my girlfriend spilled brown sauce on the board for Fear of Dracula once. That sucks. I only did it once when I had a $1 water bottle and had to retoken Elder Sign. Aww. Now everybody knows the story of Food Chain Magnate and coffee and Matt, so I think that's the last major spill. Now everybody has to have their stuff off the table, but especially me. Does the keto diet affect one's mood? Been feeling a bit down lately for no apparent reason. No, unfortunately, I wish it did, but it really doesn't. You just physically feel better. I haven't had heartburn. I haven't had any acid reflux. I haven't had any belly discomfort. So that's been really nice. Tony says, what games are on your yet to play table or shelf, or which ones look the most interesting or exciting to you? Let's see. Everett keeps talking about Asgard, and I haven't gotten to play that yet. So I think that's the one that I'm the most wanting to play. But again, I'm not good at on the fly answers like that, so sorry. Granted, it was cardboard chips that got water, but it was a fun day cleaning out a Plano to eliminate any mold. Ugh, gross. Quick question. I just repledged to your Patreon a couple of days ago. How do I get back into the Slack? Also, how do I find the teaching aids? Edward, whenever he gets back on Tuesday or Wednesday, he'll probably email you and give you the invitation into Slack. And then the teaching aids are going to depend on your level, but you will get that in an email as well. Andrew says, what are some of your favorite AOS maps? I love, what's it called? It's like 18 something Pennsylvania, 1830s Pennsylvania. I really like that one. Obviously Soul Train. Let's see. There's the Amazon Rainforest one. Holy crap, that one's hard. I think those would be my top 3. G'day, Amanda. Phoebe says Scree. Hi, Phoebe. I know she's small, but... Vincent says, we're only talking about games. What's the next book on your to-read list? I don't have time to read. Lum Doctor says, I'm a bit paranoid on that. When someone has a copy of Orleans Deluxe with the yellow player bag was pretty off. Which means, hi mate, do you want a hug? No. I don't want a hug from Phoebe. Phoebe's a spider. And unless it's Lucas, the spider, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Because he's cute. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Google Lucas the spider, because he's precious. That's really gross. Let's see. Initial thoughts on 18 Lilliput, 18XX with action selection and variable player powers. Designed by Lonnie Orgler. Does an 18XX game with action selection interest you? Wow, that sounds weird, but I'd play it. That sounds bizarre. That sounds bizarre, but I would play it. Well, thank you, Sarly. That's my favorite hat. Here. Whenever I had long hair and I wore this hat, I would pile it up on top of my head in a bun, and then he would stand up all the time. Any plans for HT to cover Gaia Project? Yes, we have a copy. Asmodee sent us a copy. Eventually, we will get that played and reviewed, but I just don't know when exactly. Yeah, that sounds bizarre. 18XX game with action selection. Andrew says, well, I need to get back to setting up my monthly and weekly. Thanks for your answers. You are welcome, sir, and I want to see pictures when you're done, please. And I will, once I have this all finished, I will do a flip through of it somewhere. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here in a couple minutes. Yeah, Instagram it for sure. I need to eat because I woke up literally about 5 minutes before. Whoops. I just kept falling back asleep. Well, thanks you guys for coming. I never expect anybody to come to these, so thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking up part of my Sunday. I appreciate that too. And Tony says, did you know that at some zoos with penguins they put bands on the left and right wing to help tell their gender? No, I did not know that. I know that they waddle, which is adorable. All right, guys, have a good Sunday. If it's later than that, have a good Monday, and I will talk to you guys soon.